next, we have an exciting session tailored for both budding and professional cinematographers in the audience. VFX has emerged as a pivotal tool in contemporary image making, playing a significant role in the creation of some of the most beloved and widely watched blockbusters. With computer-generated visuals at its core, let's explore how a cinematographer can navigate this tool to amplify the director's vision and thereby enhance storytelling. In this in-conversation titled Integrating VFX with Cinematography, our speakers will explore the dynamic synergy created by the traditional techniques in a modern setting. Please welcome, with a warm round of applause, screenwriter, director, producer, and actor, Mr. Shankar Ramakrishnan. And now, please welcome the ace cinematographer, the master of light behind the blockbuster films such as RRR, Baahubali, Ega and Magadheera, Mr. K.K. Senthil Kumar. May I now request Shri D. Ramakrishnan, General Manager, National Film Development Corporation, to please join us on stage to felicitate our speakers. Thank you, sir, for joining us with the felicitation. And now, over to Mr. Shankar Ramakrishnan with a gracious request to commence the conversation.
Good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon to each and every one who has come here, not just for a conversation, but to share the passion behind the epic cinematic work of Senthil, sir. Breathtaking beauty, profound emotional depth, and heart-stopping action. We have just witnessed how the epic spectacle has redefined the contours of cinematic image making. Sir, I understand that we have come here to discuss the innovative techniques, combining the traditional philosophy of cinematography and also trying to merge that, that boundary which has been, always separating the screen and the audience. Here you are right now in front of this very august and educated and cinematically literate crowd, just to understand that when algorithms decide the environment, they start tracking the faces and animate the expressions. How a man behind the camera, behind the lens, defines his process of image making and also resonate his idea, translating it into this new realm of Indian cinema. Welcome, sir.
Thank you, thank you. Good afternoon, everybody. I am very happy to be here among you people. Cinema, as you know, sir, is been an evolving process right from the beginning. First we had silent cinema, then we had sound came in, then color came in. So in that way, it has been a constant evolution. So then first we used to shoot on negative, then digital came in, and now probably in the future AI will take over kind of a thing. So it is a constant evolution process, but one thing which remains is always the storytelling. The storytelling is something how you integrate the latest technology, whatever is available to you, and make the audience feel for your story is a job of our filmmakers kind of a thing. So I've been fortunate to be working on films which are at the cutting edge of technology. So I've been in the constant persuasion of learning whatever the latest is happening and integrate in my work. So that's how these things happen, sir.
Thanks to the conversation that we had yesterday evening, in fact, I was actually, you were showering this light that when you were still a student in the institute and when you were actually interacting with your peers at that point of time, there was a huge, you had marked your journey way ahead, and also how, as a student, when you really started thinking about your image until you met a director who had that sort of an epic vision. That bridging, before you, I'm talking about the man part before the machine, and the human part before the VFX. And I understand that you have very intelligently used VFX to be a good tool for that. But then basically, first, the information processing happens within the brain. So I'm just talking about your grand image making and your ideology of how you would create an original image.
Yeah. I was always been a fan of larger than life films. Banner was one film which I was always fascinated. that I always like wanted to be a part of that film right from the time when I joined film school and all. But most of the my friends at filmmaking were more about human emotions and all kind of thing. Yeah, I truly believe that okay, human emotions are very important in any film. But somehow I was always pulled to like huge films. Then I was introduced to Kurosawa. He also really made some wonderful films which were like larger than life. So it was always like I was somehow always fascinated, but I never knew whether I would get an opportunity to be a part of that kind of a films. So then I started with a very small film called Aithe. It was done at a very meager. So I was like, yeah, I was like, okay, whatever opportunity I get, I should be true to it. So, but back of my mind, I was always like, okay, I want to do a bigger film kind of a thing was always there. So probably that desire actually kept pulling, and as they say, when you sincerely want it, the universe conspired for it. So probably that's how I ended up doing very, very larger than life films, probably India's biggest films at that point of time. So that's God's grace.
See, I've been talking about the graphic novels that the childrens were exposed to at that point of time.
Chandamama and all.
Yeah, and there was this particular, production which used to come from Hyderabad, and it had this larger than life images. So, did you have any sort of that sort of a visual schooling which happened as a child or as an adolescent?
No, sir. Actually, for entry into filmmaking itself was by accident. I never wanted to get into films or wanted to get into any kind of thing. Majority of my family is into armed forces. Like my father was in the army, my cousins were in all the other air forces, and I wanted to get into administration.
That explains the action part.
I wanted to get into administration. I wanted to be a civil service guy. So I was preparing for my exams. So accidentally, like one of my friend wanted to join film school. So he bought my application, and he filled it for me and all. And it all happened by accident that I ended up there. But once I was in the film school, the first film which I saw was Red Beard by Akira Kurosawa. So till then I was not much aware of world cinema. So I was the biggest director for me was the Telugu directors like Raghavendra Rao or Dasar Narayan Rao, Hindi Subhash Ghai, Raj Kapoor and all, Hindi Tamil Maniratnam, Shankar. So the moment I saw this film Red Beard, I was like, wow, there is another world altogether of how films or stories can be told. So that really fascinated me. And then and since I was just out of graduation and did not have any experience in the field of filmmaking, so that really helped me learn so many things, because majority of my colleagues were all either worked in the film industry or they have done some small courses here and there, and then they joined the film school. So since that attitude of I don't know anything kind of a thing helped me to live up to the expectations of my peers and other things. So that really helped me understand it, because I started with a blank sheet kind of a thing. So whatever knowledge was available at the film school, I really absorbed in the best possible way.
Jumping from that personal space into the midst of filming, normally the notion is that the cinematographer reads his way through the script to get into the image making, and then uses his device or apparatus to kind of start doing it. But then yesterday we were talking about the amount of time that a cinematographer or a director of photography uses to previse or pre-visualize the particular environment or the world that he intends to shoot, or particularly to say that before the algorithms actually start their work, to implant that environment or the world behind on that green or blue screen. So how far do you engage yourself in that creative process of making your environment, that world? For example, in Baahubali, when you are coming from Magadheera to Egan, when you come to Baahubali, the world of mythology, the majestic kingdom that you actually, the director had in mind, to be on the same page, what's the kind of effort that you actually took from your side to be part of that world? Did you have a contribution from your side as well?
the moment the story is done and I am part of any film, my association starts the moment the story is. And there's be for films right from Magadheera to Iga and Baahubali also, like we did extensive pre-productions, right from like what kind of a world it was. We even had a Bible written for us, which we did not show, like what kind of a political situation was there, what kind of a business was Mahishmati people doing, what kind of a business and what kind of environment was Anushka's kingdom was having. So we had everything written, even which we are not showing on screen. So for that, for us to, at least for the technicians who are involved, to understand exactly like what we want to show, how we want to show and all, so that we don't place anything out of the world into that kind of a thing. So then like after once when we come to the visuals, like we did lots of research work in terms of watching our paintings and even watching lots of Hollywood films and other things, just for inspiration of, okay, like how they did it, not to like, okay, they did it, so let us cut that, put it in our film kind of a thing. Try to like, we saw Banner so many times, Troy so many times, Lord of the Rings so many times, because like we wanted to make something which Indians have not seen kind of a thing. That was a big challenge for us. Like we need to give like our Telugu cinema or Indian cinema we want to take it to a next level. Like we want to break the barrier of language in India, which we did with Baahubali. So for that, the kind of extensive research work we did, and the best part was like we had so many concept artists. Few concept artists were doing the sketches of how the characters are going to be. Like for one image of Baahubali, we had like around 10 options of, okay, how he should look, how his hair should be, how his beard should be, to how this costume should be, to how Anushka should look, or how Rana should look and all. So then how the whole Mahishmati kingdom should look, how Mahishmati is different from Kuntal Rajyam. So like what is the major difference? Like it has to be striking. So for every scene, not scene, story wise, so whatever necessary, we exactly had a visual reference of how we want to do. So we had extensive concept arts and then every scene we used to take and do lots of storyboarding kind of a thing. So storyboarding is something which is essential, and the concept art is essential when we are doing larger than life VFX-heavy film. Because when I say like, okay, like, as yesterday I was giving an example, like, okay, when I say like I like water, so I want a bottle of water on the table. So that's a very ambiguous statement. Like I might like Evian water bottle, you might like Vedic water bottle, something. So we are on a different page. So when you start doing storyboarding, like we both are on the same page. Okay, like, okay, then we can tell us, oh, not this bottle, I thought it was a different bottle kind of a thing. So like that, so when you start doing storyboarding, everyone starts coming into the same page. So from there, we start taking it to the next level of filming or whatever is necessary for us, how we are to do and all this thing.
If you don't mind, sir, basically just wanted to revisit that particular sequence where Shivu, would want to escape from that little hamlet. If you remember, he is a normal guy or an abnormal guy in a realistic setting. And he has a challenge in front of him, which is like this water mountain or Nirmalai. So basically, that particular jumping that or climbing that mountain with that waterfall. So integrating VFX into that cinematographic vision, coming into the thick of the topic. Can you just tell me how did you devise that particular thing? Because I'm sure you would have taken templates from Adirapalli to any n number of waterfalls that from Niagara to rainfalls to anything that might come. But that particular make-believe kind of a space which you actually integrated. So how was that part done,
Actually, the first time when I met director Rajamouli for this film, so he had a concept art in mind. So he had a concept art of a waterfall with reference to how a man is in terms of size. So it was like the largest waterfall, scale-wise, largest waterfall ever existed, or it doesn't exist in the world. It is bigger than Victoria Falls and other things. So like that was thing like, okay, we are going to make a film which is visual. So for a cinematographer, see generally when director is telling a story, he will always tell like, okay, we are going to make an emotional film, action film, adventure film and all. Very rarely he comes up and tells to you that we are going to make a visual film. So when a director tells he's making a visual film, so obviously like as a cinematographer, you are like thrilled. So that was like music for my ears kind of a thing. Then that episode itself, we treated it like a feature film in a story by itself. It has a beginning, middle, and an end. So like where he starts, what are the challenges he faces in climbing the mountain, then how he achieves climbing the mountain. So it was broken down into minutest parts. So like for that, we had, as you told, references of all the waterfalls. And like we did not want a very straight waterfall. So we wanted like, okay, like it's a 2-day, 3-day journey. The 3-day, 2 nights journey to reach the top of the waterfalls. So now at every juncture, what are the important aspects which happen? What are the challenges he faces? So now we started off shooting in Karakudi, like the waterfall. So then we then shifted on to studio floors and other things. So we had, we majorly shot in green screen. So, and we broke it down to small parts, whereas the interactive part we put up as a set, but we also always knew that, okay, where is it coming on the waterfall? Like we had a very large sketch of waterfall, then we had marked, okay, this is the part we are going to do here, and this is what is necessary. Then enlarge it and make it into big and add the details into it. Then the challenge came of how are we going to shoot? Are we going to use it real? Are we going to integrate VFX? How much of VFX is going to be? How much of set is going to be? How much of action choreographers' work is going to be? So we just broke it down into the smallest detail, because that itself was like a big budget film for us kind of a thing. So we, to make it easy for everyone, we broke it down to the smallest detail. And I might have seen so many number of documentaries to a number of still photographs of so many waterfalls and other things, and looks like, okay, like in the, when it starts, what should be the look of the sequence? Because it is a completely a village which is down where like sunlight rarely reaches to top of the mountain, where it is like a little lot of snow and everything is there. So how the altitude changes. Audience might not be aware of it, but they might be aware of it, but when you're watching a movie, you're not sure. But as filmmakers, as cinematographers, you should be aware of, okay, what you're going to do. You should be, what I can say, trying to get the best possible thing in terms of everything, even logic and everything else has to be considered. Yeah, cinema, sometimes we break the logic. So, because we want to take him to a very fantasy world. So we did break logic so many times, but that was the approach key. Whatever we do, let us make it believable in terms of every aspect. So that's how the approach was.
Regarding the crew and all, basically this particular sequence logistically, like in terms of equipment and in terms of crew, in terms of this lifting up this person through this action sequence. And so what was the major challenge that you would have faced at that point of time, which you believe that today if you're doing the same sequence, what would have been the enhancement, in terms of technology? Is it there's some sort of an enhancement which has come to as a tool in your hand? For example, if you're shooting the same sequence today, what is that shift in technology that you would assess?
First of all, sir, the camera that time available was Arri Alexa. So that was my first film in digital camera. So probably I would today use Alexa 65 or LF, large format camera kind of a thing. So that will be the first thing. Because for me, like whatever the best quality camera which is available as of now, I want to use according to me. They might be like everyone has preferences. Some might be fans of Sony, Red and all, but I am a big fan of Arri. So I would like to use the best possible camera. So at that point, or this point of time, yeah, this is the thing. And there's so much of technological shift which has happened, right? From we shot Baahubali in 2012. So 2012 to 12 years, there's so much of technological shift has happened. So obviously I'll be trying to use all the things. Earlier, like keying and all those things were a little challenge, but now it has been easy. So probably like I would not be dying so much to light up my blue screen in the most precise possible way, because that time it was necessary. But there's this time like keying and other things is not a big deal. So I would not break my head so much. I would be concentrating more about, okay, how to make the shot more interesting, then worry about, okay, if I shoot the shot like this, whether the my VFX guy will it be easy for him to key it, integrate it, and all those kind of things. So that way, like, life is becoming easier every day. So it would have been like probably, and even so much of pre-visualization tools are available now compared to then. So now so much of AI is then. So we would have actually seen completely done the whole sequence in using some AI tool and seen it, okay, like, and then broke it down and even asked the AI, okay, what is, give me a short breakdown of what we are going to do. So those kind of things which is possible now, which is not possible earlier. So we can make the machine do whatever pre-production works we were actually breaking our head down to use it for our thing, and then we can actually even decide and ask the VFX, the machine to give a look of, okay, how it is going to. Then we can have probably 10 different looks, and then, okay, all the team sits together and think that, okay, this look is better, let us go for it. Then again, we can still again ask the machine, okay, to do this look, so what is the best possible way of doing it? So machine will start answering us. So probably like, it would have been a completely different ball game now if we had done Baahubali.
Yeah, this is one thing that we were actually telling, because you told me that a film which should have done for around 250 crores then would have cost more if done today, because at that point of time, resources and challenges versus resources versus challenges. You know, like when you're making the largest budget film in India at that point of time, the same film, of course, you know, with the advancement of technology, costs more.
Absolutely.
So, so I just, you know, like it was like kind of a paradox, you know, like when technology actually helps you, why does it have an impact? Because is it because of the more options that you might have, the more things that you might use as a technician to, you know, make it perfect?
Probably one is like technology is expensive, sir. If you are using the basis of the technology, basic levels, then it is much easier. But if you want to use the premium or advanced level of it, then it is like for example, it's like if you want to chat GPT, you want to use. If you want to use a free version, it is like you can use it. But if you want to use an advanced version, you have to pay $20 or $25 a month. So that is the thing. Like, so when you are making a film which is like extremely high budget and visual oriented, so you need to have the kind of machines which can deliver it, so which is like extremely great. The kind of hardware you have to use is really like unbelievable. So like then you have to get the best possible technicians who understand that, and there will be very few people who can do it. So they are more expensive actually. Like the people who can understand the machine and deliver it to you, they are little expensive kind of thing. So in that way, at every stage, and the audience actually like now the audience are aware of so many things. Earlier, the awareness of the audience was
Contained.
information was contained, and people were not aware of so many things. But today, like they are very much aware of all the things. So you want to give them the best, so then that becomes a challenge. You just want to tell one story in whatever way you want to do, then it is fine. But if you want to specifically tell a story in a certain way, then the challenge starts.
From Bahubali, I was actually just tracking the career. The film took, from the beginning to the conclusion, it took around that much time.
5 years.
And 5 years for one film or a series of, you know, like as you said, you had two films in the mind, but then the first film wouldn't suffice the subject, and then the second one comes in. And immediately into the next, you know, next one. So I was actually trying to know, where do you update yourself in between making films? That's updation, which is constantly revolutionizing this entire scenario. The benchmark that you put for Bahubali is broken when you come to RRR, when a man faces a mob, or a particular sequence where these two people meet over the bridge sequence, and the interval sequence where a multitude of animals just jump out from the screen to the audience. So these kind of updations, so he was very, you know, like, I shouldn't be telling this, he will tell it himself to each one of you. This was an eye-opener for me, but then you were very polite in saying that you attend tutorials online.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. See, like earlier, I remember in my school, in my film school days. So, if you want to know anything about new technology or anything like that, we were only like books or magazines, American Cinematographers magazine or Sight and Sound magazine. So many like or SMPT journal. So many magazines used to come. We had to wait for it to get the knowledge. But in today's time, we are in a era where like knowledge is freely available. So, if you are interested, like YouTube is there for you, and so many people if you really like want to know about any subject, YouTube is really a place where you can find. So I keep searching if I have to know about something, like it can be anything. So if I want to, for example, I want to know what is the advancement in the post-production work, DI facility, digital intermediate, if I color grading I have to do. So then I can open up YouTube, type and get deep into it. Then you can actually know exactly like, okay, how AI is implementing, AI has been integrated into DI, or like what is the latest camera available, like who are the best colorists who are doing it, like what are the what I can say advancements in terms of what I can say softwares are there. So it is really easy. As I told sir, like life is becoming much easier. So if you really want to know things, and also one more advantage which I have, probably like not so many people will be fortunate, because in today's time, when suppose some new camera comes, so like I am invited for a workshop and they come and show me, okay, this is what is happening, this is what is happening, we want you to use our camera, kind of a thing. Or a new lenses come, say they call for a workshop. So they like, if I tell, okay, like it's not possible, I can't come to Delhi, like can you arrange a workshop in Hyderabad? They are obliged to arrange a workshop in Hyderabad. So those kind of an advantages you have if you work for more than 25 years and you are at the top of your what I can say game all the time. So that advantage are perks which you get, kind of.
And also, sir, basically regarding this man versus animal sequences which you have shot. In Baahubali, you have shot this fight with the bull. And also in RRR, you have shot this with the tiger. So this, when you shot the bull, the computer generated sequence, or basically when we are shooting that physicality of that action or the dynamics of that action. It's not like the animal walking through somewhere and you're shooting a CG shot like that. And I'm talking about that very intimate moment where the tiger is roaring on the face, and also the character just behind, and the very detailing of that. So in post, like we are talking about the pre-production, the pre-visualization that you do, the time that you spend before getting into the set, shooting that particular sequence for that. But then when you get into the post of it, how much you, push your, the VFX team or basically the supervisor. Do you have a proper pipeline given to you which you really make sure that it is perfect that way?
Yes, there is definitely a pipeline. So like, for example, like suppose when we are actually like, when you are shooting the bull sequence in Baahubali, that was done in the studio floor. And tiger sequence RRR, they shot it in the jungle. So that itself is a big challenge. When you are shooting in the studio floor, you have to always keep in mind the bigger picture, like, okay, where the sun is coming from, how the sun is coming. So because I have seen lots of VFX films which are coming up, actually like the problem is, okay, they shoot green screen is good, but when they integrate VFX into it, then the problem comes, because I think most of them are not aware of what is the larger picture which is going to be there, what is the final image. So you need to see in your mind what is the final image going to be. So then shoot it. Like for example, like when we were shooting that sequence, so I made sure that my sun is going to be there at one constant time. I did not keep changing my sun angle all the time, because generally when we are shooting normal dialogue sequences, we tend to keep changing our key light depending upon the placement of the artist. But in this sequence, so I kept my sun constant, and also like should I use a very sunny light, or should I use a very cloudy sequence, and all these kind of questions you should keep asking. I have a big checklist of questions before shoot, like okay, like is first and foremost is what my director is telling, is it conveyed? So second, like, okay, like, so second is like, is the shot dynamic enough for me to convey whatever I'm doing? Are the colors right in it? Are the lighting, am I maintaining the continuity of light? Am I like using the right camera movement for it? So though many, like there is a number of checklists which are there, so which I don't physically keep checking, but like, yeah, when I'm shooting it, you integrate yourself in such a way. So that, like when you're shooting indoor, that is the challenge. But when you come to outdoor, like you have to give the VFX guy the exact reference. So like, for example, when the tiger was at up close, so like when the tiger roars, there is a, what I can say, breath. So that we have to create it. Because like we took a blue tiger head and shot it like so that his eye level matches and all those kind of things. Then the shadow of the tiger falls on him. That integration we did. But this small details of like, okay, when the tiger roars, the breath comes. That breath has to be, it pushes his hair behind and all this kind of. So those kind of details you should start thinking much before you get on to shoot. So now like. Sometimes post helps us because sometimes we might forget little details. But even in the post, you should actually like, again, this kind of details you will come to know only when you think, okay, what is the final result is going to be. So that image should be image or that result, you should have it in your mind. So when at every step, so because like when you are especially involved in 3D animals and all, there are so many things. Like first the animation comes in, then the texture comes in, then the lighting comes in, then like shading comes in. So many things are coming. So like if suppose your animation is not right, then after doing all the things, you think that okay, like we have to correct the animation, then the whole process starts again. So at every stage, you should be sure of whether the process is happening right. So that you should, if you don't keep checking it, because like by the time the date of release or something comes in, you will be under so much of tremendous pressure that you will be like, okay, like abhi, okay, people will not notice, or you will be like praying to God that people don't notice it, kind of a thing. So at every stage in VFX, especially when animals are involved, you should be like pretty sure at every stage, okay, this is what is going to help me create the image which I am looking at. So that is the...
Most of the time, integrating foreign artists into this and also trying to create that Indianness within them to understand our world, especially when we are talking about color grading yesterday. The simple colors that they use outside from Eastern European countries that are very muted than the reds and blues and greens that we have. So from the color selection, from the color grading artist to bringing in this Indianness to this thing, when you're working with a multinational team or an international workforce, you have said that you prefer working with local artists also, trying to spend more time with them for the aesthetics of it. So that's one major thing that you would say. So I would like you to share your work process with that post team also to them.
Like especially when it comes to colors and all, like right from the time when we are designing, we have to set ourselves in a certain time frame. Like, okay, when is this story happening? So when you set that time frame, so like we and my costume designer and production designer sit together and tell, okay, like this time, what were the colors available? So what is the references we have? So for example, like we were like when we were doing Baahubali, majority of the colors we used were vegetable colors, because so much of things in terms of color were very few, limited number of colors were there. So we tried to use only those. So from there we start, and finally when it comes to color grading of the final image, I truly believe that color is very subjective. So and each region has its own way of seeing at colors. Like for example, like what is a religious color? So like for a Chinese, red is a religious color. So and for probably like India, like we use turmeric as a very, all yellow ochre as a very religious color. For someone who follows Islam, like green is a very religious color. So it's very subjective kind of a thing. So not only that, even every region has its own way of looking at colors. So we Indians have a certain color which defines us. Like we like way of like bright colors because of like our color temperature, because of the our atmospheric conditions and all. There's a certain color which exists. The moment you think of India, you imagine a certain color. But sadly, we are all influenced so much by Western color. Like we always think that, okay, the colors West use are always like good, so we should aim to become like that. So I am someone like, okay, like you should be proud of what colors you like, what are you. I like being very, very Indian in terms of my image kind of a thing. So for me, my colorist is very important. So I have been working with the same colorist for the last 15 years, and he understands color like what I want, and he's very particular about okay, what is the image color is going to look like. So I was always tempted to get a very foreign colorist to work on the projects, but I realized that they get it like what they see India from their perspective. Their colors, like what they like, might be different. So I always make sure that okay, like my image don't look like a what I can say, Troy, or what I can say, Banner, or like something like that. So my image should look like, okay, that belongs to, it's an Indian image, it belongs to like, it's an Indian film. So it should be very Indian in terms of colors, because that's the first thing which people see. So then after that, okay, when you get into the story, you understand different things. So for me, I always believe that, okay, if technology is very important, understanding technology is important, but if I can get a local guy who can understand the technology, it will help me in so many ways. So that's why I have stuck to a same colorist for so many years.
And so you've very oft repeated motives contribute to the signature of a cinematographer. Like even if you say a different story every time, there are certain signature things that is only attributed to your style of working. Extreme close-ups sometimes reflect the mood and intensity of that particular character. At the same time, this very vast landscape kind of stuff also, those kind of landscapes that we have never seen before. So what is it? Travel, music, or spirituality? What defines that inner world?
See, like if you see my films, like there is no signature style to my films, because like I don't want to impose myself on a story all the time. So like for me, a story is very important, and every story is unique in its own sense. So like I am a technician, I understand, but the story is very important to me when I'm telling the story. So I keenly listen to the story. I keenly like think about the story. So that I don't think, okay, like so I like a particular shot, like in backlight this shot to be done, and I don't look like forcing that shot into any film I'm doing. So like if it naturally integrates, it's fine. So I am always like thinking of, okay, how best to tell this story, and what are the best equipments to use, what is the best condition to shoot it. So that is why I consciously have not developed a unique style for myself. And also like every day you're evolving. I did a film called Magadheera. I learned something from it, and I evolved, and I did a film called Iga. I learned so many things from both the films. Then I did Baahubali. So like, and then after all these films cumulated, like, and then I did RRR. So it is a constant evolution process in terms of how you see the world, what are the experiences you have, what are the people you met, what is their things, and so many things happens. So if I am stuck to, okay, this is my signature style, you are limiting yourself. So I don't want to limit myself, and because it's an evolution process actually, like filmmaking is an evolving process, and I constantly want to evolve with technology, and I want to integrate technology. I don't want to fight technology, because fighting technology is losing your battle. So like I want to integrate my technology. So that is why I make sure that every film of mine is true to its nature. So I don't believe in signature styles. But yeah, I do have my preferences. I like soft light whenever I'm shooting close-ups. So I make sure that like my artist, I have worked majorly in most popular cinema, commercial film, where people come to watch the actors first and then stories. It is always like, okay, this is a Prabhas film, that is an NTR film, or this is so and so actor's film. So like first and foremost, okay, they should look the best. So how to do it in whatever situation, how to do it. In the same way, not like glamorize them so that they don't integrate with the story. Integrating with the story, how can I make them look good? Is first one of the first challenges comes to me when you're doing a popular film. So in that way, like as I told, I don't believe in any signature style. It's a constant evolving process, and probably what I did today, tomorrow I might not be doing, or I might doing it better than what I did.
Massive sequences, explosions, playing with the five elements like fire, water, wind, and all these particular sequences which requires a team of activities to be coordinated and correlated to. So, as the director of photography, when you're on a set, commanding more than a set of cameras, is there any particular workshops that you actually give to your assistants, or basically other operating cameramen who could work from multiple angles and things like that, and also integrating these data, these particular images which you have designed, coming to them? So how do you train them, or do you have the similar vision translated to them? Do you spend much time with them? Like, how do you train them?
Luckily, like the films which I have done, they are like really, really big films. But I believe in majorly like single camera storytelling. Actually, like I always believe that like unless and until it's a completely action based film where like the actors can't be put at risk, so we use maximum number of cameras.
So you are behind the lens, not behind the monitor mostly.
So like but majorly dialogue sequences and emotional sequences, I believe that the best, there's one best camera angle, and you have to try to find what is that best camera angle and try to put that angle camera there. And second camera, I always feel, is a compromise. It might be helpful for editing and probably fast production completion, but yeah, as an artistic way of doing it, you have to find the best angle. And I always push with my producer and my director to tell the story, okay, this is the best angle, so let us do it, and I'll try to do it fast so that we also cover the second angle, kind of a thing. So I always majorly, even films like Baahubali and RRR or Magadheera and all, I try to tell the story in one camera angles. So when you come to multiple angles, we have lots of pre-production work. We do lots of mock shoots and other things where we come to know, okay, like what is the best way of doing it. There, where my assistants come into play, and they are also like learning about like what is my expectations, what is my director's expectation in it. So by the time we come to shoot, we are all very much prepared of what is our job and what is expected of us. So in that way, like that mock shoots really help us in integrating multi-camera angles and other things.
Sir, we talk about our success, we talk about our achievements, we talk about glory, we talk about stages, we talk about awards, but then we also understand that this comes from a lot of human failings, a lot of troubles, a lot of pain, and a lot of sweat and blood. We understand that. But, like that beautiful image when it is captured and showed on screen, much is actually forgotten about those painful moments which actually happen within the sets in trying to bring a new technology when it fails, like trying to send a rocket into its orbit with a satellite. Like sometimes you engage into a massive financial questioning. So I just wanted to know, like when you suggest a new technology, when you suggest a new device, when you suggest a new method of executing it, and when it has it, like ever faced a trouble, failing, and you had to take emotionally in that aspect of it, and how do you fight it?
See, filmmaking is a everyday challenge. It's everyday problem solving. Like every day, like one day you go to a location and see like, okay, it is sunny. So you decide, okay, this is the place. Okay, yeah, beautiful. We'll come it here 10. Next day you come, it is cloudy. So like, but you can't tell, okay, it is cloud today. We'll pack up. We'll come when sun comes. You can't do that. So from that to like suggesting new technology. Like for example, till EGA, I shot in negative. So after that, Baahubali was my first film, which I shot in digital. So I did experiments. We did a song in a film called Magadheera, which was in 2008. 2008. We shot 2007, 2008. I did a film. Then the Arri launched a camera called D20. So I shot it, but somehow I was not very confident of like, okay, digital image kind of a thing. So I had to wait till they came up with a Arri Alexa, which was probably in 2011 or 12 kind of a thing. So when I was pitching that camera to my production team, so like they were like, okay, we are doing such a big budget film, why should we go for digital, and all this kind of questions came in. So I pushed for so much of test shoots and comparing with this, and the kind of ease filmmaking will be if we go to digital and all this kind of things. So that was a big point for me from converting from negative to digital, because I was a big fan of films. But once I shot negative and shot in digital, I understood like, okay, like how I can like how so much of image what I can say, responsibility and the control I have over the image which I shot. I completely switched over to digital. So now if someone asks me like, will you shoot in negative? So like I'll tell, okay, like yeah, no, thank you. I'll be sticking to digital kind of thing, because like I feel digital has made life easier for so many filmmakers kind of thing. And the pain and sweat is part of filmmaking, so I don't want to stress too much on it. So it is challenges with everyone fails. Whether you are doing a small budget film, your challenges are different. Whether you're doing a extremely high budget film, your challenges are different. So filmmaking is always like filled with challenges. So if you don't like challenges, you don't be into filmmaking. Don't come into filmmaking.
So shooting massive war sequences with human beings and animals, like you have these sequences where the strategies of the war are explained with a physical model, and then you go ahead and execute it. So
Is it an alarm? An alarm? False alarm. Okay, thank you. Okay.
yeah, so it's almost 5 minutes to passing,
Q&A.
to the questions.
Which is the best part of any
any interactive session. And before that, this final thing.
Find one question. Yeah.
One final question, which can actually, before getting into them, you can start getting prepared with the questions. This particular, human-animal interaction happening within it, VFX can add a lot. It can actually make it a lot more easier. But then still, the elephant was real, right?
Baahubali, like, yes, the elephant was real.
Okay, so we will get into this.
No, like the one sequence, like in RRR, if you saw the afternoon, the interval sequence where the animals come and havoc is created in the party. That was a very, what I can say, which required so much of integration of so many things. Like there's like a group of like hundreds of people running around, and animals are running between them. So how do we? Our question was like, when people are running and an animal is chasing you, you should be looking at the animal and running. So in the post, if we put an animal and if the people who are running are not looking at them, that will look wrong. So we came up with the thing like we had that robotic cars. So in the robotic cars, we made a dummy animal size in terms of what I can say, sticks and other things. We stuck the face of, suppose it's a tiger, so it is a tiger's face, a giraffe's face kind of a thing. Then we made it run through the people running. So when they are running, they can see that physically. That portion, then we replaced it with animals. So like it was quite an interesting shoot, to be on kind of a thing. So like there were so many robotic cars running in between. So like people who were like new to the studio floor, they were like quite wondering like what exactly is happening. And shooting is something like only people who are filming it will enjoy. For audience, it will be like so boring, like, okay, kya kar rahe? So many things, they are like doing it again and again, 10 times, 12 times. But for the people involved, it is like, okay, like we know what we are expecting. So it is very exciting for us. So that is one sequence which is very, very like so much of, like for example, there's one shot where the tiger jumps and NTR goes around it. So now the speed of the animal, we decided, like we did a lot of research and like, okay, at what speed does the tiger come and jump? So what we did was we laid what I can say, LED strip, and there was one red light which defines the head of the tiger. So the moment you press a trigger, the red light will start moving. So I have to follow it, and the actor has to react according to that. So it was something which like every day it was a challenge. So first time when I never expected the tiger to run so fast. So I was like waiting for my camera, and suddenly I saw the light has passed somewhere. So so I had to practice shooting that kind of a thing. So it is like, as I told, like finally, it is like, what is the final image you are expecting? So what are the things, how you break it down to make the shoot easy for you is a challenge in itself. And the more you prepare, the better at the time of shooting.
We'll get into this questions thing, and I think we will start with the gentleman in the front, the blue.
Yes. Yeah. Mike.
Very good afternoon.
Good afternoon,
Coming
sir.
to the VFX artist and portions,
Yeah.
how much as a cinematographer you have got a decision making to choose? Like for example, for this VFX, I may require Srinivas Mohan or
Yeah.
Pete Draper, or
Yes.
this is not achievable here, I have to go to Veta or Stan Winston. Like
Yeah.
that, how much you have a decision making and the budget allowance on that one?
Yeah, see, first and foremost, it is, okay, we have a wish list. For any sequence, we have a wish list. Then comes the budget. Like, okay, like I want Vita to work on it, but I don't have a budget. So obviously that is ruled out. So in that way, we start coming as a cinematographer, because like I am extremely I am responsible for the visuals which come on screen. I do have a say, but it is completely a teamwork which sits like me, my director and producer. And the first and foremost, we always get the VFX artist into the VFX producer is always there. So it's the combined decision of four of us, but it is majorly the VFX supervisor who decides like, okay, which companies we have to give this work to. So, and with, obviously, with the producer, director and me involved, but it is majorly the choice of the VFX producer to choose, okay, which company is suited best for it and which freelancer is suited best for it. So, he plays a major role in deciding based on the budget and the complexity of the work.
And one more, how much it was challenging without VFX to shoot Natu Natu? What is for you relief, or did you had really challenges Natu Natu song? Thank you.
No, in spite of doing so many VFX heavy films, I always still like when there is no VFX in the shot. That's like being a cinematographer, like it's a little selfish. Okay, like I am responsible for everything. There's no interference of VFX and all. But yeah, shooting Natu Natu was an experience in itself because of the sheer energy the actors have put in. So it was a pleasure shooting them, and also the reason why not putting in so much of VFX in is like the time limit. We are almost closing to release, and we were shooting. That was the last part of the leg of shooting which we had. So at that time, we wanted to shoot it as much less VFX as possible, kind of thing. Yeah.
Hello, sir. My
Hi,
name
ma'am.
is Vandana, and I'm animation and VFX student from RV University.
Yes.
And I have two questions for you. Firstly, Indian cinema is increasingly embracing the VFX department in heavy projects.
Yes.
So, what do you think are the gaps and opportunities for cinematographers in this space?
See, like VFX film means it's not animation film. Animation film is like, okay, you don't involve VFX. There is also a animation cinematographer involved in it. So like a cinematographer's job is not about like whether it's at risk or involvement of it. So when a film is filled with VFX, as I told you, a knowledge of VFX is very important, and it is an integral part of storytelling. So how I incorporate VFX into the sequences is something which, because there are like some portions which are like VFX filled, some portions are non-VFX filled. How do I integrate seamlessly is a challenge as a cinematographer for me. So that's where I push the VFX guys to give me an image like which is close to like matching the shot which is before that or after that, which is non-VFX kind of a thing. So for me, the benchmark of quality is that shot which is non-VFX. So we have to match that. So as a cinematographer, yeah, you need to embrace and learn how to shoot green screen, blue screen, and like how to use, how to give an image which is easy for them to incorporate VFX in that. So, yeah.
Beautifully said, sir.
Thank you.
And the VFX in RRR has both grandeur, majestic, and also grounded.
Yes.
So,
That
how
is
did you balance?
that is because of the integration which we had. As I told you, like we did lots of pre-production and all. Like we broke down VFX sequences, and we broke down okay, what are the things which we have to do on camera. How much one thing which I like about Srinivas Mohan is that he. Well, let me finish. One thing I like about what Srinivas Mohan is like he tries to do majority in camera, and wherever it is not possible to do in camera, we go for VFX. That is the approach which he had. So probably that is the reason you don't feel it tacky and it seamlessly integrated into the films. Thank you.
Hello, sir. My name is Srikant, came from Vijayawada, Andhra Pradesh. My question is, nowadays capturing the filmmaking is difference between IMAX 70mm camera and normally RE Alexa camera. What is there is any difference between any difference between storytelling, difference between cameras you nowadays using 4DX format and IMAX 3D format, IMAX format, normal 70mm format. Is there any requirement based on storytelling? Is that any requirement? As
See, like this 3D is there, like as you told, 3D, 4D, 2D, and everything is there. So, like for example, if you're telling a film like Chota Chetan,
Okay.
so which is written for 3D,
Okay.
so that is that is suited. So, like if you want to make a 3D film, you can't make a can't make a very family drama between like both brothers and simply happening at home into a 3D film. Yeah, probably you can make it. There is no one stopping it. But 3D has so many restrictions and so many like expenses will go up. So if you want to use it, it's a choice. Okay, like what kind of a story you have? Do you really want the audience to feel the effect of 3D onto them? So it is it's a choice, creative choice of whether you need CG or whether you want to shoot your film in 65mm, whether you want to shoot a film in FX3 or a simple camera. It's a creative choice depending upon your budget, story, and how you want to tell your story.
Actually, we saw RR movie in 35mm, also Sudarshan Theatre and Devi MM, and we had watched this IMAX 70mm in Bangalore also.
Okay.
The same storytelling is in both format is same, but what is the difference between IMAX 70mm and normal 35mm Sudarshan?
See, like we are used to CinemaScope. In India, like majority of the viewing of big scale films, popular cinema is in CinemaScope. But there is a majority of the audience who want to see the film in the largest possible screens in terms of like it's a square format. So it was a challenge for me as a cinematographer because like we wanted to release the film in, because the budget is really big, we want to release it in all the possible theaters available to us. So like for that, when I was shooting itself, in the framing, I composed for CinemaScope, but always also had the idea that we are going to release this film in IMAX. So I composed it little bigger picture. So if you want to see a bigger picture, yeah, go to IMAX because it's a big screen kind of a thing. But there is no difference in storytelling as such because of the format. Storytelling is different and the format of projection is different. Yeah, if you want to tell your story in a square format, so probably how you compose your shots, how you place your actors, and those things really matter a lot. So that format plays a very important role when you are choosing the format of release. Yeah.
Hello, sir.
Yes.
Good afternoon. I just have some doubts. I will take you to 1955. Yeah, and there's a film called Birds, which is by Hitchcock.
Yep.
At the time, VFX was also not. Maybe a baby or not even a baby. In the Birds, the film, about 100 birds attack the hero of the film.
Yes.
And VFX was not developed, it was very nascent. And in King Kong, 1955 King Kong, black and white film.
Okay.
So they show the King Kong to about 80 feet or 90 feet, and also human creatures running around, yeah? And so how it was done, even the Dinosaurs film by Spielberg, now how these things are done. And Charlie Chaplin is in a cage with a live lion in the film Circus.
Yeah.
So can you tell how it could have been done? The King Kong and the birds and all the things when VFX is what is not even known by the
Yeah. See, like there is something called a special effects team, sir. Special effects was a very important aspect when before VFX came into it. Yeah, we do special effects still. There is something called animatronics. Animatronics is like there, and then you have see earlier when VFX was not there. So like there used lots of back projections, double exposure of negative. So many techniques are there which were used to do it. Like, so you need to be very particular about like where the bird is going to. So expose your negative so many times, or like probably like use trained birds. So many techniques. So probably like I am not the person to explain. Probably the people who done it should be explaining it. So because I'll be only telling it what I think they might have done it. But yeah. It would have been really a challenging thing. So, and see those times, like if you really observe it, the camera was mostly static. So like the camera was static, and we used like there was this camera called Mitchell and all were used for special effects at that time. So like you can expose the negative again and again, and you can place and there were so many artists who could draw on the negative. So there are so many like stop action kind of a thing. So there's so many techniques which might have been used to it, which that's what I was telling, like life is becoming easier, which VFX coming in. So like we can actually like do better job than what they have been doing kind of a thing. It's much easy in terms of what I can say, our what I can say, hard work. So it has become much easier for us to integrate whatever our imagination to get into screen.
Yeah, to update this whole thing, basically now we are getting into AI-driven VFX. Basically, we are talking about AI integrating VFX to enhance this whole thing. I would request the people to stick on to one specific question to respect the other people with questions to include maximum audience participation. So let us limit the questions to a single sharp question.
He has a mic, so he will have he has a mic.
So, very good evening, sir.
Good afternoon.
So, I was very happy and congratulate you for taking our Indian cinema to the next level of VFX. So, my question is very simple. So, the cinematography is advancing, but internally I feel it's missing the reality somewhere. I mean to say, the young generations like kids, they started believing that becomes reality where the cinema, what it did. VFX, for example, a hero fights with an animal and he wins that. Yeah. Somewhere my question is, what is the limitation where we can use the VFX which can maintain the reality of cinema matches to the real life? Because the evaluation of journey, since I was traveling from the 70s and 80s, I'm able to see the advancement and the technology has given wide exposure in the cinematography. But the young generation is started believing, being a teacher, they started believing this VFX is a reality than the reality what we are living in. So how far you can suggest, since the total conversation I was looking for, you are being saying the technology is good and I accept it, but where is the limitation for the reality and the imagination part? So
no, see, like the moment you tell story fiction, that itself is like there is no limit for imagination. So like if you feel it's a very personal choice. If you feel I want to tell a story in a realistic fashion, yeah, it is your choice. And if someone else feel that I have to tell a story, it's a complete fantasy, yeah, it is there. So you have a freedom of choice of telling how you want to tell your story. So there is, as technology is progressing, filmmaking is becoming easier, and the limitations which were there earlier is being removed off. Now you have limitless possibilities. So that's what we always look forward to. So why to put limitation when there is so much of possibilities kind of a thing? It is your choice. At this point of time, You feel, okay, I don't want to use the VFX, I want to do it a very real way. Yeah, you do it. It is a personal filmmaker's choice, whether I want to tell a completely real story where a tiger is trying to attack a man. So, okay, like, let him tell it in that way. Like, okay, we felt that, okay, like, because it's a larger than life film, we want, like, our hero's expectations is much, much higher. So, okay, we felt that, okay, like, he confronts a lion and he wins over it, kind of a thing. So, it is a choice of what we want to tell. So it is like, we can't decide for someone else's thing, okay, like as a society, we can't tell, okay, you have to do it. If it is something which is really ruining the society or the kids, then yeah, it is a choice. But when you tell a fantasy story, you are told that, okay, it is not real, it is a fantasy. And it is like what, there the whole thing was how to excite the audience when they are seeing it. So that target is achieved, kind of a thing.
Please.
Yeah, thank you.
Hello, sir.
Yep.
I'm Adit from MGR Film Institute. Let me know that, like, what is your judgment on, like, to integrate practical effects, or like, how do you judge for this scene? Practical effects is okay, or VFX can do better, like.
That's what, like, at the pre-production stages, we have to decide and break it down and see, like, do we need a practical tiger, or do we need a VFX tiger, or whatever it is, like whatever shot you want. So if it is possible to do a practical tiger, like in Spielberg's film Jurassic Park and all, they used lots of animatronics, kind of a thing. So you have to decide based on, like, what story you are telling, whether you have the budget and you have the talent to make animatronics animal or animatronics tiger character, whatever it is, or do you think that, okay, like my animatronics will limit myself, let me go on to VFX where it is the possibility are limitless and I can exploit it more. It's a choice of what is available and what do you want to tell and how do you want to tell. So that pre-production really helps you in deciding what you want to do and how you want to do.
Yeah. The lady on the back with the mic.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hello, sir. Thank you for such beautiful insights. I mean,
Thank you, ma'am.
informative insights. So today, if I want to recreate a scene of floods real time, like the way they happened in Bombay, what would be your advice, and what should I take care of in pre-production? And are you also working on virtual production? If you could tell us something about that also.
Okay, first I'll see about virtual production. Now, virtual production is the new technology which is coming up, where it's called LED volume, like where earlier, like it's a replacement of green screen. Like in green screen, when you shoot, you later replace what is the background and all. But virtual production, you have the image of where the sequence is happening. The advantages, they have a lot of advantages and lots of not so good things with virtual production also. Like if you want to shoot an extreme slow motion, the refresh ratio of the screen is not so high. Probably in the future it might really pick up. The one advantage which I see in the virtual production is, like, for example, if you want to shoot a sequence which happens in twilight or like at the sunrise or the sunset. So throughout the day, like your sunrise is there, sunset is there for you. You don't have to keep running like, okay, my time will go off. I have to go early morning, pick up my shoot. And by the time you realize sun is already risen or set or something like that. So that kind of advantages, like for example, or you're shooting on a rooftop kind of a thing and you want to see the whole city behind you. So those kind of sequences, you can put up a set in front of the screen and you can shoot it. So there's so many advantages of virtual production. That's what, like now you have so many choices of what to do, how to do. So you have to decide like, okay, like, which technology I'm going to use for my film. And when it comes to floods and all, I would suggest like integrating portions like where there's an interaction with water with the characters. Yeah, you need to actually practically shoot it. It's better with a small tank or something like that. But when it comes to wide shots and all, yeah, you can definitely go to VFX because it will be much, much cheaper. You can't flood a whole Bombay again. Or you, wherever rainy season is there, you think flood is there, you keep yourself ready and make shots when the flood is there, which I think is not possible. So for wider shots, definitely like VFX will come very handy for you. But where water interaction is there with the characters, So it is always better to go with like tank or special effects, like how you want like the waves to come and hit. So that try to do it as much as on location, it is better. Hope it answers, yeah.
Hi, I'm Hassan from Bangalore.
Yes, Hassan.
So, aspect ratio wise, so some people shoot in 16:9, some 1:1, and these days in festival films, lot of open gate shoots,
Yes.
and on top of that, these days people are adding a virtual sprocket in the post production.
Yes.
So, what are your thoughts on that? And if how do you see, like, if you were with an example, if you can talk about all these aspect ratios?
See, first of all, in filmmaking, there is no rules. There is nothing right or wrong. So there is no rules in filmmaking. There is like whatever you do for your film is right. If you want your film to be grainy, you are right. If you want your film to be, you want your film to have sprockets on both the sides when the audience is seeing it, you are right. And if someone else feels that, okay, my film should be extremely clean without any disturbance in the image, so he is also right. So there is like, it's a creative and a personal choice of what you want to tell, how you want to tell your story. So there is, see, like for example, when we released Baahubali and RRR, we released it in two formats. One is CinemaScope format, that is 1:2.35, and we also released in square format, 16:9, because like we want to exploit the audience, and we want to give the audience a new experience in terms of business wise. Our thought was business wise, we want to have see more people should see our film. So whatever is the best possible place available to screen, so they should go there and see. So for that, it's a challenge as a cinematographer for me to maintain both the compositions in both the shots. But yeah, I took it up as a challenge and I shot it. So whether you see the film in IMAX format or whether you see the film in CinemaScope format, both of them enjoyed it in a better way, and whoever has seen in one format wanted to see it in the other format. So that's the advantage which we had. So as I told, there is no right or wrong in filmmaking. So whatever is your choice is your choice. A talented team comes into play. So it is not possible in VFX. It is very much possible in VFX. But as a director, as a cinematographer, as a VFX supervisor, you should be in a pinpoint and tell position, okay, this, I can't feel the weight of the ship in the water. So how do I get the weight of it? So should I make it, I think, more and with the movement on things? So that we have to come up with solutions, with discussions. So that is what
primarily review driven.
A team. Yeah, it's a team. What I can say, decision.
Ma'am, please.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Shankar sir, for creating such beautiful questions. Senthil sir, your creativity is unbeatable. Your technology knowledge is, again, unquestionable. Very curious to know if you have experienced the unexplainable side of art, where after your all preparation and structure and techniques, something happens to you or some idea comes to you which you can't explain. My name is Megha from Mumbai.
Yeah. See, like, as I told, for most of the films, we plan a lot. We plan a lot, like we do storyboarding, we do pre-visualization and everything. But the moment when actors come into play, they get in a lots of energy. So you can't be stuck, okay, I want the shot to be certain way, I'll shoot it in a certain way. No, you need to give creative freedom and creative choice. So in the same way, like as a team, me and my director, we plan so many things. But at the day of the shoot, we go to a location, we get a new idea. So just because like we are stuck to it, we are not going to shoot it the way we planned. So we might change it on location at that point of time. That creative freedom we should have.
Improvisation.
So that,
improvisation.
Improvisation is very much part of our job or requirement of it. Because just because like you planned so much, you just want to shoot it that way, no, it doesn't work. Improvisation always helps you tell the story in a better possible way. Thank you.
Hi, sir. This is Jay Bharat from Hyderabad. I'm into an AI startup which enriches the production of filmmaking.
Yes.
I want to ask you, a few of my cinematography friends stopped talking to me because I am working with AI.
Oh,
so
that is.
So,
use the mic well. Yeah.
So tell me, what is the future of cinematographer in the AI era?
As of now, I have no idea. But the thing is, like, I am very sure that AI will help us tell the story in the better possible way, and as much as possible, try to integrate it with how you want to use it. Because I have seen some apps which you type a sequence like, I want my car to drive on the beaches of Japan, and it should be very foggy kind of condition, and there is a car accident which happens. You just type it. That's whatever the best possible prompt you can give, you're getting an image. And probably at this point of time, the video is not that high quality, but I don't think it will take much time to get a best possible photorealistic quality with AI. So at that point of time, what I'm going to do, I have no idea. But yeah, till then, or maybe like that will help me make my work better. So, but as you should tell your friends that we can't escape technology. So you have to integrate it. So like either we embrace it or we will be perished.
Hello, sir.
We have 3 questions, 3 or maximum 4 questions because of the time restriction.
Yeah.
Let's respect
Who
time.
has the mic?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
Hello,
Sorry.
sir.
2 of them have the mic. Okay, we'll go with the ladies first. Yeah.
Hello, sir. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
This is Mansi, and I am studying cinematography from Hyderabad.
Yes.
My question is, how do you deal with the issues like matching the lighting at the live action and at the VFX elements during the post-production scene?
Sorry, I did not understand.
How do you deal with the issues like matching the lighting at the live section and VFX elements in the post-production? Like, how do you try to match?
Yeah. See, like first of all, if it's only live sequence, like it really doesn't matter, because like I have to maintain the continuity of light. If the light is coming in from this side is my key light, so like when I'm shooting the other shots also, this remains my key light. The thing comes, suppose when I have to use a 3D object. Suppose I am interacting with a 3D object. Suppose I am taking the bottle and drinking water, and this bottle is not there on set, and it has to come in 3D later. So there, I have to prepare an extensive notes. So like some of the notes is given by the camera itself by metadata kind of a thing. And I have to give an extensive notes to the VFX supervisor, like, okay, like this is my key light, this is the position of the light, this is the camera angle, this is the focal length of it, this is the, what I can say, this is the aperture which I am shooting at. So, and also like VFX supervisors make sure that they shoot something called chrome ball and like gray ball and all, like, and they too lighting what I can say 360 degrees they shoot what is the object, how much light is falling on the object and which direction. So they do that photogrammetry and all these things. So every shot, that is an additional information we have to take so that the 3D object is seamlessly integrated in it. So that is a combination of a cinematographer and a VFX supervisor on set. So hope it answers.
Hi sir, good afternoon. I'm Rohan from Ramanadu Film School. Sir, what is the toughest shot like you feel like in RRR in Baahubali?
See, like it is a very ambiguous question in terms of like what is the toughest and all, because like every shot has its own challenges. I will tell you a thing which was extremely challenging to me, not in RRR or Baahubali. I was doing a film called Yamadonga long back. So like if you remember that half of the film was supposed to be a sequence which happens in heaven. So now till then I have not shot in big studio floors. So like so when moment I entered the studio floor, it was like it is Asia's biggest studio floor at that point of time, called BSF3 in Ramoji Film City. So the moment I entered that, before that I did films outside, live action and all these kind of things. Now I had to put up a set in the interiors of it. So it was like very, very intimidating. The moment I did some tests, I put a light on top. By the time it comes down, it is hardly any light. So that was a very intimidating thing. But once I have done it successfully, so I don't think big films or like big scales don't intimidate me so much. So it is, but challenge wise, yeah, every day is a new challenge, and you always get unexpected challenges. You go prepared for completely all the things, but yeah, you can, something will come up with, you have to keep looking for what I can say, some challenge will come, you have to solve it. So every day is, as I told, filmmaking as a cinematographer, every day is a problem solving thing. Thank you.
Ma'am, 1 second, please. Yeah, ma'am, please.
Hello, sir. I'm Julie, director. मतलब मैं rising director. This is a I have a lots of question, but one thing I have to ask कि what is the मतलब today AI has arrived. So just like when we shoot in periodic film. So in periodic film, so many DOP uses blue screen for immersing input periodic time. So how AI is useful in VFX to remove blue screen or yeah, either combined?
See, ma'am, like as of now, VFX, AI is majorly used in pre-production. I don't think much of VFX used in production stages. मतलब shooting के time में उतना सारा AI का importance अभी तक integration नहीं हुआ. So as of now, it is majorly up to pre-production stages, like तुम look development, then like shot making, and how breakdown of scripts and all these kind of things. AI is very much there, but on location shooting integration VFX, AI is not that much up to this level. So जब होगा तब होगा, फिलहाल तो AI का उतना ही नहीं है. So फिलहाल, like if you want to shoot, so probably within no time, because the way technology is improving, ma'am, maybe by the time next year we meet, like, or maybe before that itself, it might be a part of filmmaking, because the kind of earlier it used to happen कि some change should happen, it would take time. 10 साल में एक बार fridge आया, फिर TV आया, फिर like something came, the car came, and so many things came. But now with AI, the technology is changing so fast. What is today, it might be something, but tomorrow it might be completely new world we are living in. So, like for example, you might get flying cars probably in next few years or something like that. So in that way, like AI filmmaking में कैसे integrate होगा? As of now, I have no idea AI how can be integrated, but yeah, in the future you can definitely expect it will be integrated fully, ma'am.
Probably the last question of the session. Yes. I know the questions are not going to stop today.
Yes.
Because we have a person who is willing to answer for hours, but then
Thank you.
to honor the time and the platform, I think the rest of the questions, we will collect definitely the rest of the questions with the management, and definitely we will try to figure out the answers and send it to mail it back to you. But then for one last question of this session, thank you.
Hello, sir. This
Yes.
is Sagar from Andhra Pradesh.
Sorry?
Hello, this is Sagar from Andhra Pradesh.
Sagar from Andhra Pradesh. Yes, Sagar.
Sir, it feels so nice because I was mentioning about your work in my personal interview into FTI. Today I'm talking to you.
Oh, thank you.
It's so nice. So my question is, sir, you said you are a visual storyteller than it's normal just story and emotions, right? So when you're creating visuals, like if you take Baahubali, lot of the Baahubali and RR, these kind of films are shot in studios, in green screen and blue screens. Then you're lighting for the characters and maybe the extension sets and all. Then how do you get your high when you're shooting? Do you get, while shooting, do you get more high when you're shooting a film like Vijeta, or do you get a film like Baahubali while you're shooting? Because you are not, you don't know about the exactly the end image of that particular scene or shot, right? So how do you get that driving force?
See, like when you are shooting, you know, but when you are shooting itself, you know whether like, okay, like whether is it a live action shot, it's a live action film, or whether it is going to integrate VFX into it in the later part or anything. So the high is depends upon like what we are shooting. So like for me, if I am shooting a film which is non-VFX, I'll try to get whatever is possible there, and that definitely gives a high to me. Yeah, if I have to compare a VFX shot and a non-VFX shot, I always like shooting a non-VFX shot, and that really gives me a very big high. But when, as a professional, when you are shooting a film which has VFX, so how best I can give a clean image where the VFX can be integrated in the most best, in the seamless possible way, also gives me a high. When suppose like if I shoot a shot and when the VFX guy is working on the post and telling like, sir, this shot is not integrating, maybe lighting is not matching with the overall image. So luckily it has not happened to me so much. So that is actually a high to me when I don't get a call from the VFX guy regarding, okay, like my shot is not integrated well with the overall VFX kind of a thing. So that I can do it only when I can understand how the whole process of filmmaking works. So like what the VFX guy expect from a cinematographer when an image is given to them, or like so when you understand that, when I do a great job in that, that also gives me a very big high. So actually I love the process of filmmaking, and whether it is pre-production, post-production or shooting, every stage is actually like, or else you can't be working on one project for 5 years. So I really, on a day-to-day basis, shooting and being on location really gives me a very big high. Thank you.
Hello, sir. My name is Suresh Rana from Punjab, Jalandhar city.
Hanji.
Sir, my question is, what is the frame rate setting on camera, emotional sequence and action sequence?
As I told, sir, like there is no rule in it, sir. Actually, like the thing is like the same sequence. It depends upon how the actor is performing and what the director wants to show in it, and what the director, whether he wants to enhance the emotion using lots of background score, or he wants to doesn't want to use any background score, सिर्फ actor का face दिखा के emotion लेना है, या overall shot में emotion लेना है. So there is no hard and fast rule कि like you have to shoot in 48, or you want to shoot in 96, or you want to shoot in 24. So it is a personal, creative personal choice, sir. Agar if you feel that, okay, I can get the emotion in 24 frames, you are right. If you think you can get emotion in 96 frames, you are right. Whether I can get an emotion and the thing is, whether you are getting it or not, luckily at today's time, sir, we have a monitor to see whether it is working or not working. Earlier time, the monitors were not there. It was like a difficult choice. So luckily, like you have even online editing, which is happening. Like nowadays, online editing is become an integral part of filmmaking. Like you just take the footage, see in it. So it's a choice whether you feel okay, like agar normally when I'm shooting in 24 frames, it is not working. So maybe I need a little slow motion. So you can actually reshoot it immediately. So yeah, hope that answers. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. I know that we have all learned a lot through this session. Have you? Can we have a big round of applause for our celebrated speaker then? Thank you so much for joining us, for giving us your valuable time and this insightful conversation. We thank you, lovely audience, and we hope to see you for our next session. Thank you and have a great day.